everybody, and welcome back to Planners and Wine. My name is Meg.
And I am Myra. Welcome back to a very special episode.
Yes, as y'all know, we are on our annual summer break, but we couldn't just leave you guys hanging. And a very good friend of ours, Bunny, got in touch with us and said that she wanted to come on here and talk about some really exciting things happening over at Archer and Olive. So we couldn't make y'all wait until after the break for that. We had to bring it to you right now.
Oh, and I am so excited for y'all to hear and get the exclusive tea. It is only here on Planners and Wine, but we love Bunny over here, and anytime she's on is a great time. So I can't wait for y'all to listen.
Yes, it's going to be so great. So go ahead and check out that episode. Make sure y'all give us some feedback on Instagram. Hop in the DMs if you want to. Follow us over on Thread if you're over there, and let us know what you think about this episode. But yeah, you ready to go ahead and get into it, Myra?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. All right, guys. So we are back and we are so excited to introduce our very special guest, Miss Bunny from Archer and Olive. Bunny, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to talk to you and have you on the podcast again.
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me back on the podcast. I'm equally excited. Anytime I get to hang out with y'all, it is a great time. So happy to be here.
Yes, we're so excited. It's going to be a good time. And I can't wait for everybody here.
Yeah,
I know. Me too. So Bunny, how have you been since the last time we saw you at Go Wild DC? It was a couple of months ago. It feels like the time has just flown by since we talked to you and we saw you there. So how has everything been going since then?
I know. I was thinking back to that and I'm like, gosh, that was, 3-4 months ago. It feels like a year. Like so much.
It does.
But I've been really good. Going along happy. We've been making a lot of really cool changes at Archer and Olive, just trying to listen to, we started doing these customer surveys. And so it is really interesting to hear customer feedback and to get to be able to implement that into our products. I'm very excited about it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's the best. I love that you guys actually listen to the customers and implement it. It's one thing to take those surveys and you're like, oh, these aren't going to ever be seen by anyone. But you can tell that you guys take the feedback and implement it into your products. So that's super cool.
It's kind of like frustrating because there's a lag. Obviously, when you're designing products, you have like 6 months or more before you get to see those changes come into effect. And so I believe kind of starting in, depending on the product, but kind of starting in August is when we really get to see that full force. And I'm really excited to kind of show everybody what we've got for the rest of the year.
Oh, yes. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Oh, I cannot wait. So Bonnie, for those of you who may not be familiar, can you tell us a little bit about Archer and Olive and what the mission is behind the company?
Yeah, happy to. So a while ago when I was in college, I was diagnosed with bipolar and generalized anxiety disorder. So that was a really turbulent time in my life. Obviously getting that diagnosis, I think myself and a lot of friends I know who've been diagnosed, it can be really scary. You hear all the negative stuff, in the news about living with mental illness. So I was kind of having a little bit of fear. And in order to help process that, my therapist was like, well, why don't you try journaling? And I was already someone who really loved art. I didn't know why I was naturally drawn to that, but I leaned heavily into art and journaling during that time. And it really is it's one of the things I will credit to kind of saving my life because it was an amazing tool. So when I got out of school and kind of worked through that and the initial shock of everything, I decided I really wanted to be able to share that with as many people as I could. And so that is why I created Archer and Olive. It's really our mission is improving mental wellness through creativity. And so art and journaling, these are just one of the tools. There's obviously a plethora of ways you can use to kind of work through that, but art and journaling are really great tools. And that's why I started the company.
I love
Yes.
that. I love that
Yeah.
so much, Bonnie. And that's one of my favorite things about Archer and Olive is how you guys use your platform and your place in this creative community to be able to spread awareness about mental health issues and, tools that people can equip themselves with to help with their mental health issues. And can you kind of talk about how doing that helps break the stigma, being so vocal about it help breaks the stigma with mental health issues?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I never put too much thought into that. I've always been an open, vulnerable person. So pretty happy to share kind of the stuff that I go through. But it wasn't until speaking to people through, DMs or email or whatever, hearing their stories saying like, wow, you have like encouraged me to talk to my family about this, or maybe seek out, medical help or a therapist, or start journaling. And just being able to see that in other people's lives is really it's a really great way for me to use a platform. I'm happy to do it. A lot of people aren't in the position to be able to share that kind of stuff, and I'm very fortunate that I am, and so I'm happy to use that to help others.
Love that. I love that. And have, and breaking that stigma down into, I think so many of us like come into art, whether it's like drawing or journaling, it's all a form of art, right? So we can all kind of relate to that to, help break down that stigma behind it.
Yeah,
So
I try
I just love it.
to I have conversations with people and they'll say like, well, I'm not creative at all, I can't use that. And I'm like, you want to bet? I guarantee I guarantee you there's some creativity in your life. And there's some way you can
That's
use
so
that.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
and I think, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I hear it all the time from my family. My husband is he's into software, and I'm like, you're actually way more creative than I am. Like you gotta dig inside and find that.
It's not just
I
one
think it's
way,
important.
though.
For people to kind of redefine what they think of as creativity, because there's just not one way to be creative. And I think, talking about mental health and talking about struggles is just so helpful to make people feel less alone and less isolated in their struggles, to know that there is, several communities of people who, might be going through things similar to what they're going through, or if they're not going through things similar, they can maybe still relate in different ways, so that they know that they have people who support them, who have their back and want to help them like get through that struggle. I just love that. And like I said, that's one thing I love about this community is just making people feel less alone, just in general.
Yeah.
I love that you said that. And even at Go Wild, I think a lot of people are like, I've really found my group of people where I feel like I can like totally be myself. I've personally found a lot of support in the community, and it really makes me happy to think, or I mean, it's a terrible thing to think that there's people that have to go through this alone. And so I think the internet's like an incredibly valuable tool for getting to see, oh my goodness, there's, 50% of the population is living with some type of mental illness, like I'm not alone. There are others like me. And that just helps you get through the day to day.
Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely. So, Bonnie, how do you use stationery for mental wellness, and what advice do you have to give to others who are interested in starting to do the same?
Yeah, a lot of times I'll use journaling in particular for like stream of conscious writing. And so maybe if something's been really bothering me, I can't quite put my finger on it, I've been waking up with like several days of anxiety, I'll use that technique for journaling, and kind of sometimes it really drills down into like, oh my goodness, what's going on subconsciously in your head. And when you can identify, maybe this is just the illness, or maybe there's actually a trigger that's like causing my anxiety this time, you can really work through that. Creativity, of course. So even in my planner, as a child, I've always been drawn to stationery products, but you should see my notebooks. They have doodles everywhere. It's just something about the repetition and creating. It really puts you kind of in a meditative state and allows you to maybe get outside your head for a little bit, which I know turning off the noise is something everybody probably needs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Big time.
Absolutely.
Big time. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think that it's just so important to have something that is just yours and is just for you, and something that you can just turn to, when you're happy or when you're sad or when you're angry, something that you could just kind of put your energy towards to kind of, redirect any like negative feelings that you might be having into something that's just positive, and that's just something that's going to make you feel good. And it's like, there's never a time that I feel more accomplished than when I finish like a planner spread. And I'm like,
Right?
yes, I did that.
Completely. And I think you made a really good point with, when we go through anxiety or troubling times, that can be a really dark place. And the ability to create something beautiful from that, I think that's just a really wonderful way to turn that energy around and put something beautiful back into the earth. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yep. And you don't have to feel like you have to share it all the time either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because of, being in the planner community, and it's so fun to like share your spreads and share your bujo and like share all these things that you're doing. And it's like, you don't feel like you have to do that all the time. Like, some things can just be for you. I think that's something that definitely can kind of get missed sometimes, this feeling that, oh, I have to make sure other people are able to see what I'm doing. But then when you feel the need to share, it's always right there for you also. So, and it's like, it's a choice. You can choose to share as much or as little as you want, and you could choose to not share as much or as little as you want. At the end of the day, as long as you're doing it for you, then it's definitely, helping to serve its purpose.
that's such a key. Like, it should be something that's for you. If you're starting to feel like you're really pressured, or you're starting to like find yourself comparing yourself to others, which it's really hard not to do. We all do it. I do it all the time. Maybe that's a really great time to step back and be like, you know what, I'm creating something I'm definitely not going to put online, and I'm going to intentionally make it ugly and bad, and it kind of kickstarts the creativity back again.
Yep, that is so true. That is so true. So, Bunny, we got to get down to the nitty gritty. Okay. You got to let us know what is going on at Archer and Olive. Can you give our listeners some details about the ambassador program and what you guys are looking for in potential candidates? Because we know, I think the application just recently closed, but for anybody out there who might be listening, who've applied or might be interested in applying in the future, can you just kind of give us an idea of what that looks like and what you guys are looking for with potential ambassadors?
Oh, yes. I love our ambassadors. Goodness, there's some incredibly creative people out there, first of all. So it's such a privilege for me to get to work with all of these people. What we look for in an ambassador is obviously somebody whose values align with the company's, first and foremost. And then other than that, somebody who's creating like content that's unique to them, somebody who's like incredibly authentic. I know, again, not all of us are in positions to share and talk about our mental health, and that's totally okay. But it's just somebody who's maybe using our tools in really interesting ways. I would also like to point out that like I really do love to take care of our ambassadors. So I believe like we're one of the higher paying companies to get like a percentage of any sales that you make. We have people earning like thousands and thousands a month through the ambassador. I know. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, like absolutely, you can find out more information on the website about the ambassador program.
I love that. And I've been able to discover so many amazing creators because of you guys' ambassador program. So like every year when everybody comes out, I just like run to their page and like follow. Because I know that they are going to be posting some really, really neat stuff. I love that.
I know. It surprises me every year. I'm like, how are we just finding these incredibly talented, incredibly awesome people? Sometimes I will say I don't get to make the choices because I would pick like 100 everybody that applies. I would say
we know you would. You would.
But when I see the ones that my team have chosen, I'm like, just every time I'm like, this just feels so right and so good. So it's such a joy.
I love that.
Yeah. Such amazing people. So definitely check out and get some more information on that it opens up every year, correct?
We do. Yeah, we have something that is every year, and it's just a fewer people, and those are ones that we're sending like product in advance to, and you're getting paid monthly regardless of sales. So then there's something a little bit separate, which is the affiliates. And that's something you can sign up for as well. It's really similar. And that's when you're getting a percentage of sales. I will say the ambassadors get like a little bit of a higher percentage if they do make sales as well.
Right.
But it's also like a flat payment because you're obviously doing work for us. We want to compensate you for that.
Period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that. Love that. So I want to know a little bit more about y'all's subscription. Can you give us some more detail about it and how has it changed and evolved over time? I've been loving like the changes that y'all been having recently. So I can't wait to hear more.
It is such it is so fun to get to plan out these boxes. What it is it's a quarterly subscription box, and it's full of all kinds of like creative and stationery items. Usually we try to loosely base it off of a theme. So we've done, oh my gosh, we in the springtime we'll do, sometimes some really spring ones. In the summertime, maybe it's a little bit more summery. That's really vague. Oh goodness. Well, like one we had, it was picnic themed, but it's not like we, rolled out a picnic blanket for you or anything, but it's just a lot of the stuff kind of surrounds that. So every time we get to plan those out, I'm like, this one's going to be better. This one's going to be better. We are constantly challenging ourselves. This is one of those things where we've really listened to customer feedback. A lot of people were saying they liked X, but they didn't like Y. And so the new one that's coming out in September, which there's still time to sign up for this. It's going to be totally taking everybody's ideas, what they really wanted, the themes that they kind of wanted. I'm going to call it right now, like best box ever. I think
okay, I'm ready.
I'm throwing it down and I'm saying this is it. It's gonna be it. But yes, so we do that once a quarter, and it's really great deal because you're getting over over 120 or something. I can't remember what the value is, but it's like over $100 something for like 70. Depending on shipping, it's like $79, I think. So you're getting a ton of great stuff.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And so would you recommend a subscription box for people who might be like new to the stationery community, like new to Arch and Olive, might not know what to buy? Or would you recommend it more so for people who kind of know what they want and just want more, like a more curated collection? Like, who would you recommend it to?
Oh, everybody. Okay.
Okay.
So, everybody should just join. But I will say this. So this is where we're testing out like the newer products to kind of get feedback and see what people like. And then if something's really exciting there, we'll take that to the store, and then it will be available for general public to purchase. But everything in the box is going to be totally unique. So it's not going to be repeated. Gotcha. Like the designs and stuff aren't going to be repeated. You're not going to be able to purchase them in the store later on. But I will say for the beginners, it's also really great because you have all the tools in there that you're going to need. Right. There's also, you're getting it for like a big discount. So maybe sometimes if like the price point makes you hesitate a little bit, like this is a really great way to get things at a super discounted price. And it's like really awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So exciting. I'm so excited to see the September box. You have my expectations, Bunny. I need it. Okay.
I'm gonna give you sneak peeks. Like I just saw the images. I think we're just about wrapped up with everything. It's getting packed up now, and it should be on its way to everybody soon. But I've been getting images and I'm like, can I sneak this? Can I sneak this? Everybody's like, stop it. No, you cannot. You have all this stuff in front of it.
That has to be so hard because I know how exciting it is. And the whole community will gush all over it. So I do not envy y'all having to hold on to those secrets because I know that has to be hard. It has to be hard.
Literally, like people are telling me like, can you stay off social media right now because you are like accidentally getting something and it's really like you're gonna ruin our calendar. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. My poor team, they're amazing.
I know, they're like, girl, log off. Okay.
No kidding. They're so much smarter than me. And I'm like, okay, you know what, y'all, I'm definitely gonna listen, but like, it is so hard.
So hard.
I love it. Hard.
Oh my gosh. So, Bunny, the name of this podcast is Planners and Wine. Okay. And so we have to talk about planners. So, I know. And I just blew so many people's minds. They're like, wait, where are you going with this, Meg? So, you guys are coming out with some planners. Why did you decide to do planners? I know you have done undated planners a lot a few times in the past, but why are you doing them again? And what makes these different from what we've seen in the past from Archer and Olive?
Well, I am so glad you asked. So for the longest time, I have been wanting to put out a planner because so many people are like, I really, really want this, but I need something that is pre-filled out. I just don't have the time. Still want to get creative a little bit. So I've been turning this over in my head again and again and again because I have a complicated relationship maybe with like planners and goal setting. I think there's a lot of times, myself personally, I know others can tie your self-worth to like how much you're hitting your goals. And so being a company that's super focused on mental wellness, I didn't want to just put out another planner that, has the potential to make you feel bad about yourself. That would be the worst. So we really wanted to have the new planner. And this is just the start of something, I should say. This is kind of like the first iteration. But we really wanted something that not only helps you achieve goals, but focus on making sure you're like putting yourself first and asking yourself questions that are not just tied to how much you're accomplishing. So again, these are going to come out on July 12th, which is very, 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 very soon. And we are doing the basic undated ones for those who love them. They're a classic. We've revamped the covers into something more beautiful. You can peek those on the Instagram. But the I would say wellness planners are more colorful. They're super dated. They've got the really thick paper that Archer and Olive is known for. It's going to be great quality. But there's a lot of questions in there to ask yourself to maybe help spark that. Well, how am I using this to also take care of myself? So a lot a lot of thought and love that went into that as well. So I'm so excited.
So excited.
Yeah.
Excited.
That's one of the main things we've noticed when y'all, we got a sneak peek, not bragging at all, but is the emphasis on like mental health and rather than like productivity and hustle culture. Yeah. What made you guys kind of go into that direction of making sure that it's not just all about productivity, but putting yourself first as well?
Yeah. Like achieving goals can be like a really great way we feel good about ourselves. And I don't want to detract from that, but it's also a way that so many people can feel bad about themselves. And that's horrible. Yeah. So I really, really, really wanted to lean mental wellness first. And let's help you, daily reminders that like you're enough as you are. Like if you're not doing okay today, like that's okay. And to just meet yourself in the moment. And so I really wanted to have a planner that kind of focused on that more so than necessarily like productivity.
Yeah.
That's important. Yeah. That's really important. And like for me, like I journaled a lot when I was like a kid and through my teenage years, but somewhere along the way, I kind of lost that. And I've tried so hard to revisit it. And it's just been hard for me to do it from scratch. So like having a system that has like prompts and things that will like help me and get me thinking and things, I can just totally see that just being super, super helpful for me personally. And, who doesn't love a planner? Come on, give us all the planner.
So yes, there's a lot of prompts in there. There's a lot of stuff to get you thinking. To spark that, because not everybody has the time or the mental like capacity to sit down and think like, what am I gonna, write about today? But it's these really great questions to start asking yourself. Hopefully, do a deep dive on like who you are and to, boost how you see yourself and how you're feeling about yourself.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. So, Bunny, can you give us some details on the sizes that people are going to have to choose from? If it's going to be bound, if it's going to be on a coil, like give us the tea. Like, what are we looking at? I mean, we know, but we got to let the people know, okay?
I'm actually really glad you're asking me these questions, because before I came on, I was like given this list of like, you need to make sure you say this, 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 and this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to forget all of this. So I'm like, so happy you're here to ask me.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
Okay. So there's 2 different size options you can choose from. Obviously, you're going to have the A5, which is just time and time again, a favorite size. And then my favorite size, which is something new, we are doing 8.5 by 11. And I personally love that size because it's a little bit larger. It gives you a little bit more space to write. There is more space for me. One of the reasons I love it is to get creative in the margins. So to kind of do that doodling, write those affirmations, just give yourself a lot of freedom. Okay.
Yes.
Did you ask another part to that question?
Yeah, it was like, is it book bound, spiral? Like, what options are we looking at?
Yes. So the undated planners, those are going to be book bound. And if you've seen them in the past, they're going to follow the same format, but they're going to be also 8.5 by 11 or A5. Now the cover is redesigned and it follows something else that's coming out at the same time, which is our professional collection. It's just a little bit classier, a little bit different. Something, if you are more into like the subtle designs, you might be interested in these. And so we've kind of redone the cover, but left it inside the same. But the wellness planners are going to be beautiful spiral bound. It is so beautiful. It's got this really hefty golden coil, very, very like heavy duty. It's not going, nothing's happening to it. It's not going to get any kind of damage.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay, that's so exciting.
Yes.
And wait, are you going to give us a tea on this professional collection? Because we didn't know about that. Wait a minute. Don't be keeping secrets.
So we wanted to have something because, our icons on the cover are honestly iconic. You see an icon on the cover and you're like, that is definitely an Archer and Olive notebook.
Yep.
And which is amazing. I really love that. We're going to continue to keep doing that, of course. But I wanted to offer like more variety for somebody if you are like not into that and you want to take something into the office or you just happen to have different tastes. So it's going to be it's vegan leather, but it feels it feels like identical to leather. And I'm very like particular about the kind of vegan leather I'm using. But we've got the more subtle colors. So we've got the black and the browns, and there's a beautiful, beautiful gray. And it's just, I've got this really nice debossing on the cover. Again, it's just like super subtle, super beautiful design. Yeah, somebody who's not as into like the frills and stuff and wants something a little classier.
That's awesome.
Yeah. For everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody trying to get just expand the designs that we're creating and give what a variety of people might like and be able to assist a variety of tastes.
I love that.
Yes.
So exciting. So many new things coming.
All the time.
Oh my gosh.
Always. I just love creating, and I love hearing feedback, and I love being able to answer that feedback and provide people what they're asking for. It's one of my joys in life.
Love it. And we're just so grateful to have you and Archer and Olive in our community and just so open and willing to listen and to evolve and to give the people what they want. That's just so exciting.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of being a smaller company is the ability to turn when we need to and hear customer feedback when we need to. I know it takes a little bit longer now than it used to, but I think there's nothing but exciting things coming for the future. I'm so excited to hear what everybody thinks about the planners, including y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know if they arrived to you yet, but I know they're on their way. If not, so
gotcha. They're on their way. I do not have any planners yet, but I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
I'll check on that for you.
Thank you, buddy. But So, of course, before we wrap up, we have to go to our speed round and just ask you some fun questions so that our listeners and us can just get to know you a little bit better. Myra, you want to start it off?
Woo!
Sure. Okay. So, dot grid or graph grid?
Oh my goodness, dot grid all the way.
Yes.
Period.
Right
Yep.
answer.
Didn't know that was coming.
That might be obvious in my age. My husband now is very graph paper. And he's like, why can you make some graph paper? I'm like, yeah, someday.
I love it. I love it. Okay, next question. Gel or brush pens?
Oh my.
That's hard.
I'm gonna go just initial gut is gonna be gel because I really like a precise like point.
Yes.
Like particularly our gel pens because they've got a really fine tip that doesn't clog. So I'm gonna
love it.
Yes. Which are back in stock, right?
They are.
They're back in stock.
Yeah, they're out there.
There we go.
They're wonderful.
I was stocking them for a while because they were gone for a minute, but yeah,
They
they're
were
back in
gone
stock,
for a
y'all.
Yes. And then like I do this lovely blending with the gel pens. That's like my reel that has the most views ever, which I'm very proud of. But I
Period.
Yeah. I will never
it.
create anything that good again. But where I'm blending it. And so it's really cool that you can do that.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it's me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, craft paper or blackout paper?
Ooh, blackout. Yep. When I had the dream of, I had the dream of doing that like 3 or 4 years ago. We put out the blackout notebook. We were the first one to do it in modern times.
Yes.
I used to have them when I was a kid. I still use mine like today, especially with the gel pens. Like it just pops.
Oh, it just works.
Yeah,
it just works.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Acrylographs or kiliographs? Kiliographs? Sorry if I mispronounced it.
Kiliographs. Like
there we go. There we go.
I go through phases, but I'm going to say my heart belongs to a kilograph because there's just no other paint pen out there like them. And they are my way to paint without making the mess.
There we go.
They are good.
That's a good way of thinking of it.
They are so good. They are so good.
Thank you.
Okay. And I think we heard this earlier, but your favorite notebook size?
Oh, actually, my favorite notebook size is B5.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little larger than the A5, but it's smaller than the 8.5 by 11. I think that one's perfect because, especially if it's blank, that's the right amount of space for me. I've tried going back to an A5 because we've had like cute designs that we only have an A5 of it left. And I just can't. I can't do it.
You're like, what's she gonna be 5?
I know.
You cannot go back. I love it. I love it. Okay. And a bonus question I have for you, Bunny, that I just thought of. If someone was shopping on Archer and Olive for the first time ever, what are the 3 products that you suggest that they buy?
Ooh, love this question. 100% the subscription box, because you're going to get a good variety and you're going to understand the quality of stuff that Archer and Olive is putting out there. It is like good stuff.
Yes.
And so like 100%, if you could only get one thing. So definitely subscription box. You have to get a notebook. You have to get a notebook. You have to experience it. You have to pick the design you want. And fall in love with and can like pour your heart into. And then to be honest, even though my favorite pen is the acrylograph, I think everybody needs to try the Caliograph brush pens because the variety of colors that our brush pens come in is just like, you can't find those colors anywhere else on the market. Not to mention, I love that there's like the large and the small brush tip. So I think those are going to showcase Arsenal the best.
Love it.
Yes, love it.
I love it. And I want to add in a bonus. I feel like the washi from Archer and Olive is very slept on, but it's amazing. I really love like the motel theme washi that y'all came out with a couple months ago.
So good.
So pretty cute. So
Thank
cute.
You. I love, this is my fault because I have had to challenge myself to like use the washi. It's something that people ask for all the time, but it's not something I natively use because I'm usually kind of creating my own designs. When I've been making reels or content for Archer and Olive, I've had to challenge myself to use the washi. And I am having so much fun with it. There are
So
so
fun.
many things you can do. So thank you for that call out.
I love
Yes,
it. I love
it.
it. Bunny, it is always so fun talking to you. I cannot wait to get into these after the pod questions. You guys, if y'all are a Patreon member of Planets of Wine, if you're not, go ahead and join so you can get into these questions from our Patreon community that they were submitted for Bunny, especially. So we're going to get into that in just a bit. But thank you again, Bunny, so much. This has been amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So excited for everything that Arch and Olive has coming up. It's going to be just awesome.
No, it's always such an honor to be on. I really appreciate y'all letting me come back.
Always.
Yes.
Open invitation.
Yes.
Every week it's just Bonnie. I'll be the new third.
Yes.
Bonnie's Corner. There we go.
Don't. How exciting. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. And I really hope to see you out on July 12th. If this is airing after the 12th, then I just hope to see you on the website.
There we go. Thank you, Bonnie.